Hi, kindergartners! I get to go over our MyMath lesson today, but before we get started on our work, I want us to review the characteristics of the 3D shapes, just like Mrs. Perea did yesterday. So our first shape here, tell me the name of it. It is a sphere. And what can a sphere do? What's its characteristic? It can roll. Good job. Let's go to the next 3D shape. This is called a cylinder. What can a cylinder do? What's its characteristic? Right, it can roll, it can stack, and it can slide. Our next 3D shape is a cube. And a cube can, do you remember? You're right, it can stack and it can slide. And then our last 3D shape there is a cone. What can a cone do? What's its characteristic? You're right, it can roll and it can slide. Okay, let's get started with our actual lesson today. We get to do a problem-solving lesson today. We are on page 713, and our question that we're going to be thinking about during our lesson is, how do I identify and compare three-dimensional shapes? Well, I'm going to get started here, and the question in the green here says, what will stack on the cube? Well, let's locate the cube in the picture here. We're talking about this cube right here. And the princess wants to know what could stack on top of it. Well, the book already gave us those answers. You can see down below. They said that a cylinder could stack on top of the cube, and a cube could stack on top of a cube. The sphere cannot stack on top of the cube there because it will, what's its characteristic? It will roll off. Okay, let's turn the page to 714. This question on this page wants to know, what will stack on the cylinder? Well, let's locate the cylinder in the picture here, and I'm going to draw a circle around it. Here's our cylinder that we're looking at right here, and they want to know what can stack on it. You gotta think about the characteristics of our 3D shapes here. Your choices are a cube, another cylinder, or a sphere. Did you choose the cube and cylinder? Good job. So I'm going to draw a circle around the cube. A cube could stack on top, and yeah, another cylinder could stack on top. And I'm going to put an X on the sphere because a sphere won't work because it will, what again? Roll off. You are right. Good job. The question on this page asks, what will stack on the cone? Well, like before, let's locate the cone in the picture. Here is our cone up at the top there. Now think about the characteristics of a cone. We got to figure out what could stack on the cone. Looking down below, your choices are a cylinder, another cone, a sphere, or a cube. What's your answer? You're right. None of those objects could stack on the cone. But do you know why, problem solver? You're right, because the cone comes up to a point. Nothing can stack on top of that. So our answer for this page is going to be none of these 3D shapes can stack on top of the cone because the cone comes up to a point. You didn't get tricked. Good job. We turned the page to page 716, and the question at the top says, what will stack on the cube? Let's locate the cube in the picture. And here's the cube that they're talking about, and we want to know what 3D shape will stack on the cube. Your choices are a cylinder, another cube, or a sphere? Do you know what will stack on the cube? Good job, you're right. The cylinder can stack on top of the cube. You could stack another cube on top of the cube. The sphere cannot stack on top of the cube. Why? You're right, because they'll just roll off. Good job. We are on the My Homework page, and I'm going to complete it with you. Before I get started about the question, I see they labeled some of the 3D shapes in the picture for the turtle. I can look at the top here and see that this top 3D shape is called a what? A cylinder. Down below is a cube, and down on the ground, those are cones. There's one on each side there. Now your question for this one says, what will stack on the cylinder? And you already know where the cylinder's at because they labeled it for you, but I'll circle it for you too. And now the MyMath page already gave you the answers, but they said that a cube can stack on a cylinder. Yep, I agree. And another cylinder could stack on top of that cylinder. And what cannot stack on the cylinder? A sphere. And why? You're right, because it will just roll off. You're going to be a pro at this. We turned the page and we're at page 718, which is also our last page for our lesson today. Before I read you the question, Kangaroo labeled some of the 3D shapes on here. This top shape is called a what again? Good job, it's a cube. Coming down below on the side here, the yellow 3D shape is a, good job, cylinder. And down on the ground in blue, that is a sphere. Good job. The question for our kangaroo says, what will stack on the cube? Well, you already know what cube we're talking about, but I'll circle it. And we got to figure out what 3D shape will stack on it. Your choices are, of course, a cylinder, another cube, or a sphere. What's your answer? Good job. A cylinder could stack on top of that cube. Another cube could stack on top. But a sphere cannot, because why? You're right, because it will roll off. Wow, kindergartners, you were some really great problem solvers. Great job. Now in my class, when we solve a problem, I like to sing a little song. And it's from the PBS show called Peg Plus Cat. When she solves a problem, her and Cat sing this song. The problem solved, the problem is solved. We solved the problem, problem solved. Woohoo! Great job, kindergartners. Now, if you have some blocks at home, maybe you can try stacking up different blocks and seeing what works. Can you get cubes and cylinders to stack together? Could you put a cone at the top? Can you stack a sphere on top? If you do choose to do a building of some sort with blocks at home, send us a picture. You know, us teachers love to see your faces and to see what you're doing at home. But otherwise, that's the end of the lesson. Great job. Good job, problem solvers. See you later.